Write down everything you do for sales, even if it doesn't go well. Hey you guys, welcome back to the Magness Mogul Podcast. My name's Jonah Magness. I own and operate martial arts studios, and I've been able to help some of my friends with the tips and tricks that we're talking about today. Today we're talking about 3 reasons why I write down all of my sales scripts and sales options and why I wish I started sooner. The first reason, and at least most obvious to me, is knowing what I've already done, whether it worked or didn't work. I've always A/B tested, and I don't necessarily remember what I've done 4 or 5 years ago. Like I said, I've always had the mindset of trying 2 things at once, whether it be the whole script or at least 2 different sales options, like waiving the enrollment fee or waiving the first month, see which one got more people to bite, see how long those people stayed. And then after I could see more success with one or the other, then I'd throw out the one that didn't work and then just move on from there. Maybe after a couple of weeks of running the successful one, I'd add a new one in and compare the 2 again. However, I never wrote it down, like either literally or specifically at least, and I never wrote it down in any sort of way that I could access it now and reach back and pull out a bunch of different options that my team per se could play with and test and try out the different winners that I've run in the past. And that's led to a lot of problems now that I am trying to build up more people underneath me and teach them how to do what I've done. That being said, the second reason why I wish I'd been writing stuff down sooner and why I do it now for everything that I do, from say our operating procedures to my sales scripts, is training new people and onboarding them, making their life so much easier and mine so much easier, because it cuts out a lot of the questions that they inherently ask, because I can just have it on the script or have it on the SOP. And if it's not there and it's a really good question, then I'll add it in, and it helps improve both my onboarding process and my next experience for the newest person that I'm bringing onto the team, or the person that I'm trying to teach that new skill to. The first person I had to train, I didn't even write it down while I was training them, which was like mistake number 5052. But I needed to go through every single step with them, and I live role played it, and we did it again and again and again until it just became an operation of their brain and their understanding of what I would do in each and every situation. And then as new, more specific situations came up, then we tackle those in more general perspectives of what their objection they were overcoming, about what they can and can't do in terms of playing with the amounts and the front end offers and everything like that under the sun. I still was finding a lot of the A and B offers in terms of what they're going to try. I always give them the winner, and then I'd be testing everything in the back. And again, I still wasn't writing it down. So training the first person and the second person was really, really difficult for me. And I wish I had all this stuff written down prior to them. But what I've done since is I sat down with them after I wrote everything down, and we went over what I could have talked about sooner, what I could have talked about more, and what order they wish they learned all of these steps in. Because the hardest part has been explaining how to do what I did. I never got formally trained, and that was always difficult for me. I just had to do trial and error all the way through the process, and that meant that's kind of what I expected the next person to do. But to make them more successful to the standard that I wanted to hold them to, it's way more fair to just teach them how to do it. And then now I have it all written down after sitting with them, and I have a much better understanding of how to articulate to different people exactly what I'm trying to get across, as well as my thought process of the specifics on the how to and what to do in each and every scenario. The third reason why you need to start writing stuff down way sooner than I ever did is, since then I've been able to help other studio owners, and when I didn't have anything written down, it was kind of the same of like talking over concepts or rewriting their scripts. Now I have stuff of being like, here, this is what I use. Change it to however you would like it to be more successful. What would you like to change about it? And then we have a very clear starting point, because if people were asking me for help, odds are they also didn't have a script. So we were both starting from zero, and I just had a little bit more knowledge that I had to somehow explain to them and help them build the whole thing all over again. So it's been much easier having the list of SOPs in terms of what to do before the call, to get the call, to book the appointment, during the sale, and everything else under the sun, of all the steps they could take before and after the sale, whether it's closed or not closed, and what they do. And actually having a list of questions that can help them, guide them through their script, so that way when they get asked stuff, they can actually be in the conversation, and they just know what question to tie back in to turn the conversation back around, to keep it on track and moving forward. Like I talked about in my past video of why I switched to a question-based script, it's much easier to make a conversation out of the sale, so it feels a lot more personal, like it should, because I just want to be helping them along the way to receive their dream outcome. And having it all written down has been a way better process. When people have reached out to me, is all you can just send them my script and what I do. And if they have questions, then we jump on a call and then we talk about it and we go from there. And that's been way more helpful once I finally wrote it down. So now I do write everything down to make everything much more repeatable. I still use it to test different scripts, different offers, and see which one's more successful, but I write it down whether it works or it doesn't work. I don't know that yet because I write it down beforehand, but then I keep both, and then I just take notes on why I think one worked over the other, whether it was time of year or whether that just needed to be rewritten or scrapped altogether. All of this just makes the whole process repeatable, from training my team, helping other studios with themselves or train their own teams, as well as seeing my own progress and seeing the growth I've made in terms of improving my sales abilities and improving my skills and improving my scripts. I get to see, oh man, I used to say it like this and I allowed so much room for objection and walking out the door. Whereas now it's a much more guided journey and it's a lot more consistent in terms of now all I really have to plan on is getting them in the door, and I kind of have an idea of how the day is going to go, which is way less stressful overall, and I definitely believe that shows when I'm having conversations with a new customer. Now I've just done this so many times that I'm much more comfortable explaining my mannerisms and exactly how I navigate through the sale process through a bunch of different role-playing options and combating questions, because not only have I experienced more sales over this time, but I've gone through a lot of different scenarios and I took notes on what I did to get past that, to overcome the objection, as well as how I, or even just navigating around the objection because maybe it's not a problem at all. And the extra little benefit that I didn't realize I was going to get from this is not only seeing my progress, but helping me get back on track. If I see a dip in my motivation or my success, I get to go back and see exactly what I was doing at a time when I was killing it. Maybe the sale was different. Maybe I was just in a better mood. Maybe it was sunny outside. Maybe more people, it was tax season. That's probably why that one was killing. So maybe I need to rework it when they don't have as much money expected to be coming in. I get to jump back in time, whether it be 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year, and I get to see what was I doing then that I'm not doing now, so I can have a better overall understanding of what's going to keep being successful now and for the future. If you know anyone who wings it just like I did and they just test everything up in their head, send them this video so that way they can start building out teams, making success more repeatable, and tracking their own progress. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this to make your studio more successful, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.